Hello, this is Anna from AELT, and today we'll do a tutorial on how to make Paraline drawings for ARC 100. Reading over the syllabus, I see you guys have to make a plan oblique, an elevation oblique, an isometric of the room and of the furniture piece. Alright, so to start with the furniture, this is the table that I made for, the table that I modeled for my ARC 100 a few years ago, so I'll use this as an example. It'd be great if, before you start the drawing, group all the layers you want to be exploded together. So select everything and group. So when you pull them out, it's easier to pull out. And yeah, after you grouped everything together, you should enter isometric view. I'll make a new viewport. So click the drop down menu from your default viewport. Click the drop down menu, viewport layout, and select new viewport. You can name this whatever you want. And to enter ISO, drop down again and set view to isometric. Then whatever you want. I like the southwest view, so I will just choose that. You can experiment to see which shows the most of your furniture. And I'll set the display mode to maybe ghosted. Okay, after you got this, play with the pulling out of your props and components of your furniture. I like to use the gumball, and instead of pulling out randomly like I just did, I recommend that you go up by increments like this, maybe multiples of 150 centimeters, and the props can all go up by 250. Alright, something like this. If you want to, you can lock your ISO view, so you don't have to manually go back and set it every time, and then just go back to perspective and work with your model there. Alright, and yeah, I can pull out all these components. I'll just switch to the one that I have already done from before. Okay, it is best to show the furniture as separated as possible, so you want to show each individual piece of your furniture. I think that's a key component of this assignment. After you're done everything, this is still a 3D model, and you want it to be a 2D drawing, so just select everything and make it 2D. Alright, you can select your current view and name your new layer. Just name it Explore. You want to maintain source layers. I actually merged all my layers, which is a mistake if you're modeling in 3D. Always keep your layers, and so you can organize them by line weight or by position, whichever one you feel is best. Maintain source layers and group output, explode. Okay. Okay, after it's done, it should have my 2D drawings. I'll just hide that for now. Okay, after the furniture is done, let's talk about the isometric drawing of your room. Okay, here is a tip to make kind of like a pseudo 3D model with only 2D drawings, so you can make projection drawings quick without having to model everything again. Or orient the layers of your 2D drawings and shape them so they form kind of like a 3D room like this. So how I did it is on my 4 walls, I oriented them to match up to the plan, and then I rotated them 90 degrees. And then positioned them to each part of the room. This technically should line up perfectly because you are drawing elevations and plans of your room that is measured, so everything in theory should match up. After you're done this kind of pseudo 3D model, you can make all sorts of projection drawings with it. So first, let's do an ISO like we just did. Before you make any drawings, always make a copy because this will mess up your model. Alright, to make a copy, I'll isolate this again. Okay. Yeah, if you go back to the viewport you just created, it should not show your new model, so set up the view again, and it should automatically zoom into all the extents you have in your Rhino workspace. Okay, the ISO is really straightforward. Just go into the view, and I'll delete all the walls that I don't need to show, and the ceiling, and this part. Okay, and then make 2D as always. Okay, the make 2D actually took way longer than I thought, but anyways, here is from the 3D workspace to 2D drawings, which is what you always want. And yeah, fix it up, reorganize the line weights in Illustrator and Rhino. Yep, I'll hide this for now. Okay, the elevation oblique. Number 1, go into top view. Okay, go into top view. Sorry. How this works, you always want this side that you want to see to be oriented downwards. For example, this side that you want to see as the elevation, you want to orient down. Looking at my past submission, I oriented this face for the elevation, so I will rotate it downwards. Okay, yeah, pointing down. Okay, after you have oriented your model, scale 1D. This scales the model in 1D. I usually click enter for the base point, and the scale factor is 0.7075, which is 1 over the square root of 3. I think. Is it? No, it's not. Okay, anyways, the magic number is 0.7075. This is what I learned from ARC 100. You want to enter that and shift and hold up. Yep, this scales it in 1D in the y-axis. Shift and orient towards the y-axis. Alright, after you have scaled this down, you want to shear the entire model. The origin point can be just any point. Same as the last step, you want to shift and hold the y-axis again and shear this by positive 45 degrees. Okay, after you're done, switch into right view, shear again, and again choose the base point and hold up for the z-axis, and you want to shear by negative 45 degrees. After you're done, go into the top view and it should give you the elevation oblique. And I just want to delete the walls I don't want to see, like last time. This one. Okay, this is how you make an elevation oblique. If you zoom out of your viewport, you can see this is very weird. Because Rhino is a projection of 3D model space, this is kind of like a cheat way to make projection drawings. And like last time, make 2D, name it. Now let's make a plan oblique. Some of you might have modeled a 3D model for your ARC 100. If you did, that's great. Alright, if you have a 3D model, it should be the same as using a model of drawings and an actual polysurface model. But let's just go over making a plan elevation using the model that I have. Okay, for plan elevations, we go into top view. Think of the orientation that you want your plan to be. If we orient it like this, the plan oblique will turn out something like this. Okay, make a copy as always. Now we want to rotate it by 45 degrees. And go into right view. Shear again. Take the origin point, point up to the z-axis, shear by negative 45 degrees. Okay, and go back in the top view and delete all the sides you don't want. And you should see a plan oblique drawing. Okay, I lost a lot of my details, but it's okay. And just like last time, we want to make 2D to create line drawings. Let's name this plan oblique. Okay, my make 2D just finished. Now we have our set of drawings. Alright, let's see the syllabus. You guys have to fit the drawings into a 24 by 36 piece of paper. And the furniture can be a 1 to 2.5, 1 to 4, or 1 to 5. Okay. Usually I scale my drawings when I export to Illustrator. So export AI, and when it is saving, it has an let's name it something. When it is saving, it has an option for me to preserve the model scale. Usually just click this instead of the snapshot of the current view, so I can preserve the scale that I modeled in, which is 1:1. I'll change it to meters to centimeters, and I do some conversion here. Okay, usually you want your drawings to be, I think this one is 1 to 20. So 1 meters is 100 1 meters is 100 centimeters. So 1 to 20 is 1000 divided by 20. That is 50. Something like that. This is how I usually like to scale my drawings. But for this, let's do this another way. The paper size is 24 by 36, so I'll make a square, a triangle. That is 24 by 36. Okay. This is pretty small. For my furniture drawing, did I group this? Okay, I did group this. I'll make a copy. Oh, shit. Okay. My Rhino just crashed because I accidentally pressed the extrude button on Gumball. Try not to do that, and turn on autosave, guys. So I successfully recovered some of the files that we were talking about. Now let's go back to resetting the paper size. Alright, and making a copy, this time not pressing the extrude. Alright, so the scale I think is 1.25, 1.4, or 1.5. Okay, we can try different ones. So scale, base point, I'll just use automatic, press enter. And since we want to scale it to 1 to 4, so we'll just divide 1 to 1 by 4. So multiply it by 1 divided by 4, which is 0.25. Still a little too big, so try 1.5. Scale, base point. I wonder if you can type in functions. Oh, you can. I mean, fractions. This is really helpful. Great. But I still can't fit this in my paper. Alright, I hope you guys can fit your furnitures in the paper. I'll just make the paper bigger for me. Alright, and yeah, just export this into Illustrator, change all the line weights, and plot. And now, for your plan obliques and elevation obliques, everything you have to hand draft, which is so unfortunate. I feel so bad for you guys. For those, there is a tip on how to use Rhino as your assistant in hand drafting. After setting your scale, let's try it at 1 to 20. I'll use my elevation. I'll use the same scale method that I used for my exploded furniture. Wait for it to load. Save. Always save periodically, even if you have autosave turned on. You never know what will happen. And scale. Let's do 1/20. Okay, so technically this is the same dimensions that will be put into my paper. So what we can do here is use sorts of commands to measure out all the lines we have to draw and then transcribe it onto paper. For example, I want to measure the angle that I have between these two lines. Can choose the curve. Actually, let's start by doing this. Enter angle. And then you can choose the start of the first line, end of the first line, start of the second line, end of the second line, and it will calculate the angle which you have to draw. And there's a really handy function, nested function of this command. You click on two objects, and then you can choose the two lines to measure. I'll choose it like this. Yeah, choose these two lines, and then use the angle command again, and it will just measure it automatically for you. Great. So another function that we can use is the distance function, and then you can select a point and a second point, and it will measure out the distance for you to draw on paper after you've scaled it down. 0.165 meters. Alternatively, we can just select the line and press measure. Not measure. Length. And it will measure the length of the line. Great. But you don't have to write it down with text every time you've measured something. What you can also do is another command you can use instead of manually placing text boxes everywhere is dimensions. On Rhino, it's dim, select the first dimension point and the second one, and you should extend it out. This is very huge, so how we can change it, you can go to settings, properties, and annotation styles. Right now it's on default. We can make a new one. This is pretty small, so like we can use try this one, 10mm architectural. Okay. And try dimensions again. Hopefully this will work. Okay, this is even bigger. Alright. Let's go back. I can edit this model space scale to 100. Or maybe scale it down by this. Try again. Okay, good. And you can add dimensions everywhere so you know how long to draw your lines for your drawings. And just like this selection method that we use for angles, we can select the part of the line we want to add dimensions for and object. Yep. And can select the specific objects we want to measure. Alright, and this concludes. Okay, I forgot to show you guys the script that I made. So back in Rhino, I was about to start editing this video, and here's the script I made, so you don't have to do all of those commands that I just said manually. Sorry. How to import scripts in Rhino. Usually you can just paste these commands. Let's try with a simple box. Yeah, go back to text file. I want to make an elevation oblique, so I copy everything, paste it in my command bar. Alright, and I select the object I want to make and press enter. Go back to top view, and it's done. Yay! Let's try it for the other ones too. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is the elevation oblique. If you want to make it face the other way, or just play with the negative and positive values when you shear and rotate. Okay, trying out the plan oblique. Instead of pasting it into the command bar completely directly, you can also use a command called macro editor and paste all the commands here and play it. Select this object. This makes a what did it make? A plan oblique. Yep. And an isometric. This is the 60-30 isometric, so not the perfectly distributed 30-30 that we have for the viewport. Okay. 60-30, and I played it around a bit, and I found this kind of like a pseudo way to create a 30-30. I don't know why anyone would use this instead of setting the view to ISO and then making 2D, but something fun. This is something fun. And then I played this macro and select my item, and it should give close to a perfect 30-30. Let's test this out. Oh, make 2D first. Testing this out, it should give me around 30. 0.009 difference. That's a very small difference. Alright. But again, I don't know why anyone would use this instead of just setting the viewport. I will be pasting the text file in the description of the YouTube video, so you can just download this and paste it in your command bar when you want to make your drawings. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Good luck with your assignment 2s. Peace out.